Hello, how are you doing? This is Miho from Canada. Today it's so clear and beautiful blue sky. I just loving it. It's so beautiful. You know, when you look at the nature around you, it teaches you so many things. When you look at the dandelion, it's just perfect. And they don't compete to become something else like a rose. And when you look at the rose, they just be rose. And they don't even compete to be something else. And they're just happy the way they are. And as humans, we should be like that too. Like we could be like that too. You know, just be happy with who you are. But the thing is, because so many informations being fed to you, or different consciousness of frustrations and all low vibrations being fed to you, so that you start to live in a survival mode, meaning that you're not living yourself, because part of you just want to please parents, maybe coworkers or friends. You try to be somebody else just to be a survival mode. And naturally, you're not made like that, but you just don't know, because over the years, that's what you've been fed to be a certain characters or a certain way. And that could work in olden days, because their energy level and expectations were then to be a certain ways in order to succeed or in order to survive the rest of your life. So parents who believe to be a certain way and believe in certain values, they force that onto your child or children or people around them. And they might be really, thinking that's the best. It was best for them, so they believe that's the best for anyone else that they see. But things been changing. The earth's energy is going up and up and up, and we need to match with that by being who you really, really are. And in order to do that, you need to become peace with yourself. It doesn't matter what people said to you or what the expectations of, say, parents. And it's very tough to break out of that. I'm the one who struggled so many, most of my life, because part of me wants to be me, chase what I would like to do in my life, but part of me, it's a huge part of me, says to please, my parents, which is totally in the gap in between. And in order to have that gap, squeeze into it, you just have to be in a survival mode to operate in a way that it's not you. So it's important to know the rhythm of yourself, which is so different from others. And the rhythm is like the way that you feel so comfortable and you feel in flow of the things. Something that feels like uncomfortable or not quite right, usually it tells that's not what you really want to do. And of course, it's true when you live your life, like there are other things that are coming into your daily lives to deal with. Like even though you don't want to say wash dishes, but you can't just ignore it's gonna pile up and get hygienely, bad, right? So those things, you need to do it, but the core things that what you really, really want to be, you truly face that urge inside of you And that's your light. That's your actual you that you want to become. And when you operate from the low energy level, which is like guilt trip or the fear and worries and anger, jealousy, and all those feelings, we all feel that, right? But you don't operate from that because the outcome is usually what you operated from, the guilt trip, fear, worries, and anxieties, despair, and you attract more of that. But instead, you consciously raise your level of energy to love, peace, harmony, gratitude. That level of consciousness, the things you attract will be filled with what you've been operating from. So it's a very simple process, and yet because there's so many dramas, so many things happening around you, you get caught up because that's human being. Like, you have so many roles to play as a woman, maybe the wife, mother, worker, and household wife, and chef, cleaner, gardener, drivers. It's just so many roles that you play, and you have 24 hours a day. Sometimes it's just not enough to do things that you wanted to do, so you need to prioritize. That's another trick. I'm still learning that. So there's always a room to improve yourself. I think that's the key to enjoy life as a human being, because we love to learn, to grow. I think it's all inside of us. That's why we are here, with all the technologies and all the convenient stuff. When you look back like 100 years ago, none of those existed. We are living such a millionaire lifestyle when people in 100 years ago look at us, right? So we keep growing, and I think this is also the process of growing, and also the changing, like shifting into the new ways of life. And because of coronavirus, we are cooped up in a house, the social distance, and things been changing. A lot of things are closed, and now is the time to really reflect on yourself, to see what you really want to be, after corona. We will come out of it, and the end of it, what would you like to do? And I think the values of people will change over the time, and the more you operate from the conscious level of love, peace, harmony, and gratitude, your life will be much smoother ride. And when you're still hanging on to the anger, hate, despair, worry, fears, and all those emotions, life will be very tough, because the earth's energy is going up and up, and we need to keep it up and up. It's gonna get really, really better. But as long as you hold on to that really heaviness of the feelings or conscious level or energy level, it pulls you down. It really presses your human quality. So you need to let that go every time you feel it, because the daily chores, and you need to live the life, so you face with something all the time, and those feelings will come up, right? It's not always like so happy, Lolo land. You need to feel certain frustrations and anger or fear, and it's natural, but the way you deal with it is the way you come out of it. So instead of hanging on to it, you need to release. Every time you feel like uncomfortable feeling or not quite you just let that go and let that go. So when you keep doing that in the process, you will become really lighter, and you find ways to solve problems, and you find ways to improve things. So that's a much better way to spend your time. This is the time to reflect yourself and think, what would you like to be? What kind of person that you want to become, right? So it's a good opportunity to look into yourself and release all those negative emotions. Release. So you can do the breathing techniques, so you can do meditations, workout, yoga, play the musical instrument, cooking, new recipes, baking, watch what you eat and change the eating habits. Take a breath, take a walk if you could. Bringing all the natures, look at the flowers and appreciate the color. Appreciate yourself, appreciate your bodies, appreciate the family, appreciate your kids, spouse, appreciate your job if you still have one. There's so many things to pay gratitude for. So keep doing that and you feel much in better place. And you could naturally operate from the place of love, peace, harmony, gratitude. And it takes a practice, because I was deeply in this low level, the guilt trip, fear, anger, hurt, feeling, disappear, death. It's really scary place to be in. So you could do it. You could raise your conscious levels in feeling to be very peaceful place. And you can shift yourself to live who you really are, to the core of yourself. You can align yourself to be who you really are. And that's you. You only know that. The comfortable, balanced place. Pleasing back to yourself. Of course, when you do that, you could be a kinder person to the others. You pay attention more for what other people are feeling too. But when you come out of a nice, peaceful, loving place, other people will feel it. And even though you had a bad emotions or turmoil happening, you don't get affected too much of it. So try that, and hopefully things go well, and enjoy your day in nature.